Laura Papastaro, co-founder of the company You Sponsor Me, and I'm here today with Kevin in live from LA. So Kevin arrived here in October of last year, 2018, with a job and a visa on his hands, and he is going to tell us today how he did, actually how he proceeded with his job search and what challenges he faces too. So Kevin, where are you from?
I'm from Paris, where I'm born and raised. I was involved in the supply chain industry as a consultant during 6 years. Prior to decide to undertake that new challenge here in the US.
Okay, great. And what is your background? You studying graduation?
I got a master in industrial engineering.
Okay.
And then I pursued my study with a specialist master's degree in supply chain management.
Okay, great. And what is your job here now?
Here I'm supply chain director for a startup involved in the cannabis industry.
Okay, great. So same field with a promotion.
Yeah.
That's a great move. So, and when did you start your job search?
Actually, I started my job search in March 2017. Yeah.
So from March to December 2017, so you search on your own.
Correct.
Then you started with me the coaching in January 2018 to April. Then you slowed down your job search May and June.
Correct.
And you resume in July, and you got your job offer in August 2018, right?
Correct.
Okay. So first of all, how did you proceed? But before the coaching, before we started the coaching, how did you proceed with your job search?
I just tried to apply massively online, target the job I thought I was able to be hired, and then I just try to be more consistent in my research and just massively apply online.
Okay.
But it doesn't work.
It didn't work. Okay, yeah. You actually didn't target any company, so you just put your resume like this, and you didn't even know the visa you were qualified for, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct. I just I knew it was possible to be endorsed by a company and have the company pay all the fees for the visa. For the green card application, and this is it. And this is when I start my job search with you.
Yeah.
I get more information about which kind of visa I was able to apply for, and who will help me to be hired by a company here in US, because it's really complicated to be hired and to have the company pay all the fees for your immigration here.
So we started the coaching in January 2018, and so we identified the visa is the best one for you, and we targeted the companies, right? So from the moment we started the coaching, when did you get your first interview?
I got my first interview pretty quick. The first one was over the phone call. I got it 3 weeks after, by the end of January.
Nice.
And then during all the training coaching program, I got around 20-25 interview.
So yeah, and how had changed your behavior? Why before it didn't work, and then what did you change actually?
The first thing I knew which visa I targeted, and I was able to explain what I can bring to them.
Okay.
So this is what changed, and the job search approach, you provide us with more details, more tips inside about how to proceed, which rhythm to contact and follow up people was the key point to reach my goal.
When you got in contact, got in touch with the internal contacts, from the day you sent a cold email or you applied, usually how long, so how many days after you got response from this contact?
Usually depend of how powerful your pitch mail is we can get an answer feedback within 4 days. Because I target as well executive, it was sometimes I have to follow up prior to be in touch with them. And what happened a lot of time is the executive CEO, COO, supply chain director, or VP of supply chain get me in touch with the HR in charge of the recruitment process.
Okay.
For the position I applied for.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you always got a job interview with this HR or?
At least a phone call, which is good.
So in your current company, so how did it happen actually?
I just I just follow the process. So I apply online.
Yeah.
I touch base contacts inside the company. What I did as well, I contact the people through LinkedIn, which is a really good approach as well. Email plus LinkedIn, and that people reach out to me by phone and through LinkedIn as well to set up a meeting with the CEO of the company.
So the CEO, so you contacted the
financial
CEO?
director of the company, because it's a mid-sized company.
Yeah.
Reach out to me. And
Okay.
put me in contact with the CEO of the company,
Oh, okay.
which contact me a few days later to set up a meeting, a phone call. So it's happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then so he called you back, right? And
He
you
called me back 2 days later after the interview.
2 days later, okay.
And asking me if I was interested by the post, by the position, if what he presented to me about the company was what I'm looking for. I said yes, and he put me in contact with the COO,
CEO, okay.
which as well is one of the owner of the company. He went right to the point. I just tried to match my experience with his expectation about the position.
Okay.
And this is how it's happened. Right after the interview, he said to me, "You will see all the details with the CEO to make it happen."
Okay, great. And it happens actually.
It's happened. I
It's
met the CEO again just to be sure about
Okay.
the visa process.
Yeah.
Because they doesn't want to invest in someone they don't know what he will be able to do.
For sure, yeah. At what time during the recruitment process you spoke about the visa request?
I put it on the table at the first interview during 2 hours.
Okay.
So it was intense for me because I had to stay focused, be careful about what I'm saying.
Wow.
But yeah, I introduced my visa application and the visa I need to get to be in the company starting the first day, and explained to him the cost of this visa.
Okay.
Explained to him I was already involved in that visa application, and I just need to get the employment offer to go forward.
Great. So they actually did nothing about it.
Nothing.
Paperwork. Yeah.
I handle everything and just submit to them to sign it. Finally, now it's 3 months I'm here in the company.
Okay.
I just got a meeting with the CEO this week, and he decided to refund me the integrity of the fees.
Oh, okay. So you paid the fees and
Yeah.
then he refunded you the
Yeah.
fees.
It was
Okay.
already set up in my contract.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So that's good negotiation. And so you paid the fees, and then 3 months after,
If it's
this-
match.
if it's matched, oh, that's a good. This is
Yeah.
a good deal. Yeah. I imagine you're happy to be here.
I'm really happy to be in Los Angeles after those years of research and finally undertake this challenge. And now it's a new challenge will start for me. As you said, I got a promotion, a new job, new role in the company,
Yeah.
which is really interesting. I'm learning every day, so I'm really happy and grateful to be here.
And do you have something to add?
I would say your approach of the job search was a great help. The insight we got through different partners as well was a great help. It's allowed us to be more involved and more aware about what is required to reach our goal, target. And I would say what is really important is to put everything on the table to be able to reach that goal. And when I said everything is the time we allocate for this, it's not an hour every week, it's not an hour every 2 days, it's multiple hours every day to be able to reach your targets. A lot of competition.
Oh yeah, and
we are not from here. The
yeah,
US people
for sure.
who are qualified are here as well, and we have to compete with them. So we have to bring our value and show it immediately.
Yeah, yeah. Stay focused and don't give up. Thank you, Kevin, for sharing your experience with us today. I'm very glad you made it. And I wish you all the best here for your work and your new life in LA.
Thank you, Sarah.
Kevin. Thank you.